Forget moving on. Let's talk about moving up. Been there, been heartbroken, and had a relationship which didn't end well. Do you feel vulnerable? Do you feel shattered? Do you feel that your emotions are scattered? Do you feel raw? Yes, that's what I felt also when I had my breakup. Mine was around 2021, and yes, it feels weird. It feels like you are lost. It feels that everything that you have built with that person is gone. So what now? What should you do? Do you feel sick? Do you have that feeling probably around your throat that it's like something holding you? Maybe do you want to cry, or you don't want to talk to anyone? Or maybe you would like to tell everyone about everything. But what if that vulnerability is your chance to build a new life? A new beginning, things to learn from. Join me as we are discovering how to overcome these first few weeks or maybe month after our breakups. Forget moving on. Let's talk about moving up. We are diving into stacking new habits that's not only healing old wounds, but also creating a new, positive, stronger and happier life. I had a conversation with my alter ego, and the first thing that I learned is confronting that pain of heartbreak. And to be honest, I have read that actually heartbreak or being heartbroken is a real thing. It's a real feeling and it can affect your physiology. And the first thing that I learned was to acknowledge that pain, acknowledge that feeling. It is okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It is okay to feel lost. I learned that I must acknowledge that emotional toll. And Shouk taught me to honor these feelings and to respect them so I would be able to move forward. First, acknowledge the pain, validate, do not dwell. Validate that pain and don't get stuck dwelling it. It is part of the process and it is not about ignoring your feelings. Second, the shattered glass are the seeds of opportunities. Each one of these shards are actually a small opportunity that probably will make you stronger and happier. Shouk taught me to think of that shattered glass of my emotions, my feelings, my life and my dreams as seeds. And how can I get every seed to be a beautiful thing that would construct my future? Therefore, I believe that this is a chance to sweep everything that didn't serve you to construct a new beautiful mosaic. Third, identify your core values. Envision your new ideal reality and think, what does a day in your fulfilling future look like? And before building a future or a new future, I think we need first to identify 3 important values or principles that would help us and will be the blueprint of our future. So to me, my 3 most valuable values, they were discipline, commitment, and optimism. And with everything that I do in my life, I always try to have these 3, which push me forward. And I believe after confronting our feelings and starting to look at our shattered emotions as seeds, and then decide on our values, this is when we are able to move from a victim to an architect that can design and build their new life. So now I'm gonna share with you my habit stacking, which helps in those first few weeks where we feel weak, lost, and not sure what to do. Because especially this period, we feel that there is a void in our life. We feel like there was a huge part of our daily life and daily routine has disappeared. That person who's probably sharing our mornings with, that person who check on us during the day, that person has disappeared. And the problem is that maybe sometimes we're not missing the person, but actually we are missing those activities, which the same happens with our dreams. We are not probably missing that person, but we are worried that our dreams are not going to be achieved because that person who we linked every dream to has disappeared. So probably our dream will disappear. So rather than getting stuck in that dwell and not able to look at life in a different way, it's better to start stacking small habits that will help us get in our days moving on and feel better about ourselves and probably find happiness within. Step 1, the anchor habit, your daily foundation. This consistent win, despite it is small, it creates a feeling of accomplishment and control, especially when other things feels chaotic. Every foundation needs an anchor, and we will start with our anchor habit, where we will decide on one habit that will be done daily, and it should be easy and simple and doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So we will be able to do it. So for example, making our bed. When you wake up, make your bed. That would make you feel at least that you have achieved something positive at the beginning of the day. Now you can pick whatever you like, but at least something easy, simple, quick, and you can't say no to. Step 2, the growth habit, building up. This leverage uses the momentum that's being created by your existing anchor small habit, which builds growth effortlessly. Now, after we had our anchor, we are moving to our growth. So that growth habit is something that will build up or invest in our core values that we have already decided previously. So for example, after making the bed or after having a moment of mindfulness or yoga, I'm going to read a few pages of X book, whatever book. It's my favorite and I enjoy it and it invests in my life. Or I'm going to write a daily journal. How do I feel? What I'm planning to do? Something like that. Okay? Step 3, the joy habit, reinforcing positivity. The joy habit conditions your brain and associated it with accomplishment and rewarding, which would help in transforming your emotional state. And this is the joyful one, the joyful habit. And pick something that you would like to do after your anchor habit and your growth habit. So for example, you made your bed, you read your book, so maybe now you would like to listen to a favorite song, or you would like to have a cup of tea on your balcony, in your garden, or next to a window. Just have a peaceful moment. That positive feelings will link the two previous habits, and the whole thing will fulfill you with positivity and happiness and a good feeling about yourself. And at the end, this simple formula is going to turn these very micro habits to macro transformation. It will create that chain reaction that day by day, it will help us to feel better. And now, building this in your reality, it's about consistency. It's about perfection, and there is no timeline. And you need to remember, sometimes we are in a hurry to find the next person that we will again repeat the previous experience and activities that we are missing from our previous relationship, and that is wrong. Every new relationship is a new experience. We only learn from previous ones, but we don't copy them. And that is something that we need to be aware of. Also, everyone would tell you how emotionally vulnerable we will be and how lost, and then the first person that would open their arms for us, we just fall into that. And this is where everyone start talking about rebounds and choosing the wrong person or falling to be hurt again. And this is where we need just to be careful from it. And therefore, again, it's about consistency with these small chain reaction micro transformations that at the end we will be rewarded with the macro transformation. The 1% principle and the daily tracking. Therefore, I would recommend a habit tracking, a ticking sheet. Seeing your progress visually is incredibly motivating and helps in self-efficacy. So my friend Shouk always taught me not to aim for drastic changes. However, just try to compare yourself with your yesterday. Have I improved? Have I changed? Have I become a better person in, for example, running? Have I become a better person in reading? Have I learned new things compared to yesterday? If yes, that's more than enough. That's what actually we are aiming for. Those little things. Second, reward consistency, not just outcome. We wait for big achievements to reward ourselves. And no, we don't want to reward the outcome. I think we should start rewarding our journey, those small stages, those small winnings. If I read half of the book, I'm allowed a reward. If I manage to do this and that, I'm gonna reward myself. You don't need to wait until big challenges have been achieved. This builds a momentum and create a positive feedback. And that loop, especially when we are vulnerable, is needed to push us forward. So it is important to celebrate the effort. Your stack isn't rigid. Adjust your habits as your needs evolve. Heartbreak is not the end, my friend. It is a catalyst for a powerful new beginning. Embrace the journey. Shouk taught me to be prepared for the moment of sadness, the nostalgia when it comes, for those moments when I'm gonna remember the past, my ex, and how relationship was beautiful. And it all goes with that adaptive habit stacking that we were talking about. And you start preparing yourself that when that happens, I'm going to do something positive. So for example, I'm going to ring a close friend, or I'm going to practice my favorite hobby. Now, we are allowed to be sad. We are allowed to have these memories, but we can't dwell for so long. We need just to move on. And I think this is how, my friend, you are not going to only get over a breakup. No, you are going to create a life that is richer, stronger, and more authentically you. And remember, your pain was not punishment. It was a lesson that you are going to learn from to create a better life. And at the end, I would like you to share with me what would be your very small anchor habit that you're going to start to move forward. And until then, remember, discipline, commitment, and always smile. Thanks for watching.